In this video, we're going to create a purchase order from a purchase requisition that we've already set up. So to get to the screen we're going to use in SAP, we'll go to Logistics, Materials Management, Purchasing, Purchase Order, Create, and then we're going to go where we've got the vendor and supplying plant is known. So that's transaction ME21N. So I can go ahead and type that in, or I can just use that menu option that I navigated to as well. All right, so when I get here, I get to my purchase order screen, and I'm going to leave this purchase order blank. I'm going to let the system generate that for me, but I need to choose my vendor that I want to purchase this item from. So I'm going to type in my vendor 114127. Of course, you'll want to choose your vendor ID. And then, like we've seen before, or you may have seen before in other videos, we want to expand this header so that we can see the information we need. We'll go ahead and leave the document date to today's date, which is good. And the purchase org we're going to use is our purchasing organization ID. And in our case, it is the same as our company ID. So for me, that's US 27. For you, you'll want to make sure you know what your purchasing org ID is for you. Vendor. Okay, so purchasing group is going to be N with our numbers afterwards. And again, for your company, if you're not viewing this as part of our project, you would want to make sure you know what your purchasing group is. And then my company code is US 27. And of course, you'll want to put in yours. That gives me a little bit of a background that I can work with, and I can press enter just to validate everything. What I want to do next is click this button up here that says Document Overview On. All right. And when I do that, I will see another little screen portion open up, and I can expand that a little bit to show a little bit more. And I can actually drag around these windows as well to space everything out. So here we see no variant defined. What we're going to do is choose this option here that says select variant. All right. And we want to select from my purchase requisition. So a purchase requisition that you have already set up. And here you can see your purchase requisition displayed. All right. So I'm going to click on the selection box right next to it. And then I've got a button up here that says, okay, let's adopt this purchase requisition. So I'm basically creating my purchase order directly from this purchase requisition. So SAP copies in all the information from that purchase rec, and I'm going to expand my window a little bit so we can see a little bit more about what's going on in this screen. And I always recommend trying to set your windows up as large as you can so that you can see a little bit more of what's going on in SAP. SAP does like to use a lot of screen real estate. You can move things around a little bit, but the bigger your screen is, as always, the better when working on content creation, ERPs, things like that. Here I'm putting my requisition in. And I have a warning here that says, uh-oh, I've got a message, a warning message. Can delivery date be met? So here's kind of similar to what we got when we were setting up our requisition. Are we going to be able to deliver it on the same day when we actually have the information records set up to expect a 2-day delivery? So if I click on the item overview here, I can see the details. I've got glove 27, extra thick cycling gloves. You're, of course, going to use whatever material you need to or whatever your project calls for. All right, now you may see an error message says net price must be greater than 0. I don't have that here. I've got my net price popping right in from my information record. If you don't have a net price there, go ahead and fill it in and then click Save. And I've got standard PO created under the number 45, bunch of zeros, then a 2. Of course, you want to make sure your net price matches whatever the net price is for your order or for your project. All right, so now I can copy this. Whoops, I guess I made it go away. But anyway, I've got my purchase order number. And I can record that and move on to the next activity. So we'll see what we'd like to do next in SAP. Go back to the main menu and regroup. All right, that's it for this video. Let's see what we need to do next.